Hey everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, I just got done with episode 12 of Superman and Lois, season 3, titled Injustice. Guys, it's been a minute. I did not watch last week's episode of the Superman and Lois. I know that this review is like late. Of course, tonight was the season finale of season 3 of Superman and Lois. Um, After the episode I just watched, which was a damn good episode of Superman and Lois, I now understand like why my sister was like, "Oh my god, did you like?" Because when my sister thought I watched episode 12 of Superman and Lois, she thought I did. I think it was like earlier in the week, and I remember of like last week, and I remember her telling me, "Oh my god, you didn't watch it yet? Oh my god, it was so good." This was the episode we got introduced to Lex Luthor, and I gotta say, I'm really impressed by the actor that played Lex Luthor, that they chose to play Lex Luthor in this show. If I'm correct, I think it's the same dude that played a character in The Walking Dead. I think the character's name was Abraham. I can't. I'm not even quite sure. I could be totally wrong with that, but he did a phenomenal job. I was a little worried about how I would feel about his Lex Luthor, but I think I'm gonna say it. I think he might be the best, probably one of the best Lex Luthors I think we've seen in a very long time. Probably up with Michael Rosenbaum good of Lex Luthor. I even like the dude that played Lex Luthor in Superman Returns, but I do gotta say he's definitely right up there with Michael Rosenbaum when it comes to TV Lex Luthors. And I was just very impressed right off the gate. I mean, right off the bat, we kind of start the episode from what I remember with him, and it was really cool. And I was even actually, no, we don't start the episode off with it. We start with Lois, of course, recovering after her surgery, her breast removal surgery, which I really did love the message when she said it's like I think she said like time heals all wounds. She said something like that, and she said it's gonna take some time for me to get used to like my new body and stuff like that. But it was just really beautiful, seeing Lois recover and stuff like that, and just seeing that she's taking it, day by day, the healing process. And I love the strength Lois has. I really enjoyed this arc with the character. I really do think that this was an arc that I don't think we any of us saw coming, and it's such a real, it's so real, this storyline with Lois, that I feel like really brought the best like performances out of all the characters in the show of the Kent family. Like it really brought everybody's peak performances out this season. It really gave everybody's performance time to shine. I would say more than the last two seasons, the last two previous seasons. I feel like the season really let these characters really or these actors really give their best performances. I really do think that. And I really do think out of the two previous seasons of Superman and Lois, I would definitely say that this season was just so heavy and just so real, and just I don't think we've ever had a season that's had so much emotion. I don't think I've nearly teared up as much in the past two seasons as I did in this season, quite honestly. Um but yeah, this season is definitely very strong. And this episode, like I said, like seeing the beginning of Lois, in her recovery, and then seeing that Lois, like brought out her story about the fact that Pia and Bruno set up Lex Luthor about killing I think his name was Moxie, if I'm correct. And they were kind of waiting for Lex to be let out of prison. Lex, we think that oh my god, when we first get we see him, it's like he is living the life in prison. We kind of like see that, and I thought to myself, we really don't have like the idea of that he's running the place until actually I can't even remember when we saw him really break the egg, because we saw him like actually like dining, and I was like, wait a second, like is he running this joint? But when we first like see him, we're like, oh my god, like he's really like he's just been getting strong, and he's really we just think he's just some like prison rat at this point. We really just think he's just some prisoner, but we end up finding out that he's just running the joint. Like he's having things served to him. It was crazy because we end up seeing flashbacks as he ends up like getting like he gets let out of prison, and he's been wanting everybody, like he's been telling his dudes to make sure that it's been held from the public until he gets to the location he wants to get to before it gets let out. Mind you, Lex always thinks 10 steps ahead, and this episode really showed that, because his all the pent up anger he has for Lois. about the people that put him in prison, which was Lois's words that put him in prison. And he expected Lois, and I even was talking to my sister. I was like, oh my God, like all that anger that he has for Lois. It's the fact that he expect. I even told my sister before he ends up saying it. I think he expected Lois, this great reporter, to understand that would see through the lies and see that he did not kill Moxie. He did not kill him, and I bet you he expected that. And it's all the anger that he has pent up from Lois that's been keeping him sane in prison. For I think he's been in prison for like 2 years, if I'm correct. I think that's what he said at the end of the episode. But like he went into prison like he had a kid before he went into prison, and he also had a wife. But it turns out when he got let out of prison, he had a picture of his daughter and he had a ring from his wife. I think his wife left him. I don't think she's dead, but in reality he went into prison and kind of left his daughter without a father. And his daughter's now pretty much I think he said his daughter was like, I forget how old he said his daughter was, but she's like older now and grown, and she kind of like isn't forgiving him for him being like for him being put in prison. And his like daughter's not talking to him, so it's like all that anger he has for Lois, the one person that he thought would see through the lies about that he didn't do it. And he really thought that like Lois would believe him and really see through the lies, but that's not the case. She did not see through the lies. She made the mistake. In reality, it's like she might not have wanted to see through the lies because she knew how bad Lex was. So maybe in reality, she just wasn't looking that much into it and just wanted him to be put in prison. That could probably be the case, honestly. And the real villainous shit is that his one dude that picked him up outside of the prison when he got out of the prison was like, oh, where do you want me to drop you off, Mr. Luther? And he said, I'll just walk. And mind you, right when he dropped his wedding ring and just kept walking, I knew instantly he was heading straight to Smallville. And I was like, that's some villain shit. The fact that he said, fuck the ride, I'm walking. There's only one thing that's been driving me to this moment, and I want revenge. The fact that bro walked all the way to Smallville to have that conversation with Lois, and Lois has been dreading this day in reality. Like, I knew this was going to come back and to bite me. The fact that my words put Lex away, and I didn't see through the lies that, it was Bruno and Pia, the ones that killed, Moxie, and it wasn't Lex. So the fact of it is that she's been dreading it, and he's been waiting for this moment to kind of see, like, I wanted you to believe me. I thought you would believe me. And you can tell how angry he is at the end of the episode. Like, it was so villainous. Like, as he's walking to Smallville from probably like I think the prison is in Metropolis or a little bit outside of Metropolis. But the fact that he is such a villain, he chose to walk, was the most villainous shit I would say I've ever seen some villain do. Bro said, F the ride. I am walking miles and miles to get to Smallville to have that conversation with Lois. If that's not some villainous shit, I don't know what is. Like, that's like so villainous, the fact that bro did that. But the other thing I really enjoyed about this episode is the fact that in this episode, Jordan finally is out to the public. I remember seeing, like, I think it was like a promo on after this episode. I think it was maybe it was I think it was a promo for this episode. Maybe that scene leaked out. I can't quite remember, but I remember seeing that snippet of Jordan taking pictures with people, and I was like, oh my God, Jordan's out now. He's no longer hidden now. And finding out the reason on how he is now out to the public about someone saving people around Smallville is because of a tornado, which was really badass to see that sequence. I loved that sequence. But mind you, the build up to that sequence, I was really pissed off. This is the biggest problem I had about this episode. The biggest problem, the one problem, and mainly the one person, the one person that was the problem of this episode was Sarah. Sarah was such an ass in this episode. I hate to say it, but Sarah really pissed me off in this episode. Sarah caused so much problem for Jordan in this episode. I just was like, knowing the knowledge I know that we've all known for a while now, that a lot of recurring characters from this series aren't returning for season 4. I think she is one of the characters that aren't returning for season 4. What she did in this episode made me happy that character is not returning. I think, if I'm correct, in season 4. I just was so pissed off that the fact that all Jordan said, because Junior was telling Sarah, like, oh, like how why don't you believe me that it was like it wasn't Superman that saved us? Like I know that that's what you're saying, but I'm telling you that it was somebody else that saved us, and I do think that he is our age, and he is saving people around Smallville, and because he had goggles on. Superman doesn't have goggles, and here comes Jonathan, Jordan, and those jocks. I forget those jock characters, but they're Jonathan and Jordan's friends. But they were making fun of the fact that Junior is talking about some superhero that's their age, that has goggles flying around Smallville saving people, and Jordan said, tried to kind of, tried to, what's the word, kind of trying to amuse Junior's fantasy, I guess, delusions about someone with goggles, save that's their age saving people around Smallville, saying, I think that's cool if there was someone our age saving people around Smallville with goggles trying to hide their identity. Guys, don't you think that's cool? Of course, the jocks thought it was lame. Someone with goggles saving people, ha 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 ha. And Sarah was looking at Jordan like, he like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? You want me to keep your secret, but like, you're like pretty much telling people that oh, like taking credit for like saving. You're pretty much telling people that you're the one that saved everybody. You're kind of telling people by you just saying like, oh, that I think that'd be cool about someone with goggles our age saving people around Smallville, making it sound like he's like bragging about it. She ended up telling Lana about it, and Lana ended up talking to Clark and Lois about it, making it sound like Jordan's taking like is bragging to people about him saving people around Smallville. That's not what bro was doing, which really pissed me off because Jordan was not bragging. He was amusing the fact of like trying to make it, trying to make Junior like not sound crazy, and kind of trying to make Junior feel better about about him thinking that about him so-called seeing someone that had goggles, and him thinking that the superhero that had goggles is like their age saving people around Smallville, and the fact that it wasn't Superman. He was amusing the fact of it. And she took that as, oh, Jordan's pretty much bragging about my worst moment of my life or whatever, me almost dying, and how he like, what I mean, he's not just in it to save people, he's just bragging about it, the worst moment of my life, when it's like you made that worst moment of your life. You chose to listen to Junior about turning off your headlights in an alley, like in a dark back alleyway of Smallville, when you were drunk. That is not Jordan's fault. You're angry about the conversation that you had with Jordan and the fact that he saved you and he didn't forgive you by the shit that you said prior about him. He didn't forgive you, so you're angry about it. So in reality, you're gonna be petty about it, and you're gonna go run to Lana and make it sound like that Jordan was bragging and pretty much outright telling people his secret. So she ends up coming with the coming to the conclusion, Sarah, like, oh, like I don't know why I'm keeping his stupid secret anyways. A stupid secret. You're This is all on you. This is all you're doing. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're what? Like, stupid secret? He chose to tell you that big secret, and he is not telling people that he's not taking credit for, what I mean, and he's not, what I mean, taking credit for the so-called superhero saving people around Smallville. He's not taking credit for it. He's just saying, oh, I think that'd be pretty cool. She took that as him like bragging about saving her and all that shit. That's not what he was doing. And the fact that Lana took that shit and ran with it, I couldn't even stand Lana either. Kind of like making it sound like, oh, like that's not right. Jordan shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? It's not okay. Like he should just like he shouldn't be bragging about saving you or blah 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 blah. When that's not what he was doing. And then have her, and even Sarah knew outright. Sarah liked to act like she didn't like she didn't know that Lana would go to the Kents to talk about to tell the Kents about Jordan bragging about saving her to everybody at school. But yet I know damn well Sarah knew that that's exactly what Lana would have done. And the fact that Lana did that, I thought was uncool. I thought that the way Lois and Clark, I thought they were super overreacting. Like they should be able to believe their own son that Jordan wouldn't do something like that. Jordan tried explaining it, and their solution was to take away Jordan's suit. I was like, Clark, this is the most lamest I've ever seen Clark. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You think Jordan was doing what Lana and Sarah said about him bragging about saving her? That's not what he was doing. And he tried even explaining it. They wouldn't believe him. They took away his suit. Are you kidding me? So the thing is that I thought it was very hypocritical because I was like, bullshit. If Martha Kent tried taking away, or tried telling Clark he couldn't save people, we know how Clark would have reacted. He would have still kept saving people, regardless of him being found out or whatever. He was not he Clark Kent would never stand by when somebody needed help. So he expected to ground his son. What if somebody needed help? Are you really going to ground somebody that has powers that could be helping people? You're going to ground him over what somebody else so called said? Like, are you kidding me? I just thought that was lame as shit. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, you're really taking it that far that you're going to take away his suit and ground him and say he can't save people? Really, dude? I was like, oh, come on now. So I was so glad when Jordan when he found out, like, I was so glad when Jordan like told Sarah off, like showed up at the diner, told Sarah, "Are you freaking kidding me that you lied, making it sound like I was taking credit for saving you?" And she's like, "Oh, like stop trying to like." She said like I forget what stupid shit she said. She said like stop trying to like make me feel bad about when I already apologized to you. Like stop trying to like make my life miserable. Or she said some shit like that. Stop trying to like make my life make me like put like stop trying to like make me feel like push me down. Like she said something like that. Like stop trying to make me feel bad or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just leave me like leave me alone or something like that. When it's like okay, bet I'll leave you alone. You know what I mean? You're just again in a way he's like I like how like out of all this you're trying to make it about you, and she's like I'm not making like you're the one making it about me when I'm trying to like forget that moment of my life. Just leave me alone, like get out of my life. When in reality, it's like she did make it about her. He was just trying to help Junior out. You know what I mean? Amusing the fact of yeah, it would be cool if there was like someone our age with goggles saving people around Smallville. Trying and so Junior wouldn't sound crazy, but she took it as he's bragging about saving me. It's about me. It's like no, it's not about you, Sarah. That shit really pisses me off. It's like that was the most annoying thing about this episode. So the fact I was really glad when Jordan said, F this, I'm taking back my suit from Sam's car because Sam ended up taking the suit from Jordan. And even Sam believed that, Jordan was all like in his head now, thinking he's all hot shit now, taking credit for saving people. And that's not what he was doing. So I was really glad when the tornado happened. Jordan flew, grabbed his suit, and then Sam looked at him like, oh, don't do it. But then he went up and was trying to help Clark stop the tornado. But the fact that this was probably the dumbest shit Clark said. Clark said, Jordan, I told you, like, leave. I don't need your help. And he's like, I can help you. He's like, I don't need your help, Jordan. Go home. What do you mean go home, bro? Clark was struggling. Mind you, this had to have been like 3 tornadoes combined. And Clark's cool breath was not doing it. It wasn't doing it. So the fact that you're so petty right now on grounding Jordan when he could be helping you stop this tornado quicker so that way people don't get hurt. So you can minimize I can't even say shit. Fucking yeah, I think that's right how you say it. Minimize, I think that's how you say it. Minimize the casualties of what that tornado could be doing. But you're gonna tell him to go home? I was like, nah, man. I was like, the writing for this shit isn't working with me. I don't like what they're doing right now, making it sound like that Jordan's, fame driven. Like he just wants the fame about saving people. I was like, I'm not buying that shit. I don't see that's what you guys are trying to make it sound like Jordan's doing right now. He likes the fame about saving people. And then when he landed down, he did not expect people were gonna like rush him with the camera phones and shit, wanting to take pictures. He was not expecting that. So the fact that like when Clark looked at Jordan like, oh my god, and Sam was like disgusted at the fact, and Clark was disgusted at the fact that Jordan was taking pictures with people, it's like, what'd you expect him to do? Fly away? Like, but yeah, a lot of the times you're standing there, wait, just pretty much smiling and waving to people after you save people. It's very hypocritical, bro. So I was like, so when the moment when like, when after all this shit happened and Jordan was asked to go to his room, and pretty much, or before he was asked to go to his room, like Jordan got up and said, "I'm tired of you guys like telling me who I need to be and what I can and can't do." And Clark tried grabbing him like Jordan on his shoulder, and Jordan like pushed him off. I don't blame him. Clark is being a real ass right now, and I don't know what the hell is happening. It's like he is literally you when you started. And you didn't, I know damn well you didn't listen to Martha Kent when she told you not to save people around Smallville. What did you do? You left Smallville to go help people. Because you couldn't stand the fact that Martha told you not that you couldn't help people and shit like that. You had to keep your identity, but you still went out doing shit. Very hypocritical. And I was like, bro, I expected better from you. I know you want, you think you know when Jordan is ready, but again, that's like your mom's. It was like Martha saying, Clark, you're not ready, but you chose when you were ready. You need to let Jordan make that decision. That shit pissed me off. It was just so hypocritical. I was like, sit the frick down, bro. I was like, Jordan can put hands on you right now and you're not ready for it, if I'm being honest. Because, bro, let him do his thing. He had to help you out. You're seasoned, and Jordan had to come up there and help you. It's just one of those things where I was like, come on. I was like, I really expected more from Clark. I was like, this is just sounds so hypocritical. I hated that segment of the episode. I just hated it. Jordan was badass as usual. That suit's still trash. I cannot lie. As much as he wanted to make Junior sound like he wasn't insane, trying to appeal to the idea of, oh, it would be cool if someone our age with goggles was saving people. But I mean, the jocks were right. The goggle shit sounds lame. Jordan's got to lose the goggles, do something cooler. I kind of hope we get that at the like before the end of season 4 next year, or in the fall time, whenever you want to say. I think, yeah, no, not next. I think, yeah, next year, if I'm correct, because I don't know if we're gonna get season 4 this year. I think we're gonna get it next year. Um, Let me know. I could be wrong. If it's this year, we're gonna get season 4, and I think it's gonna be next year personally. But I thought this was a damn good episode, but that segment was lame. Cut to the end of the episode when, like I said, Lex literally told Lois, it's either you, like your words put me in prison, and I came here to tell you that's no longer gonna happen. I need you. I'm telling you, you can never write. You can never write again. You're done reporting. You're done. Your words got me in prison, and I never want to hear your words again. Like, words come out of your mouth. You're done. And when he came there saying that shit, and Clark was like saying you need to leave now, I could tell by the way Lex was looking. I think he knows that that's Clark Kent is Superman. Because I swear the look he gave him, I could have swore he saw through that facade of Clark Kent's, for Superman's, or I guess, yeah, Superman's identity being Clark Kent. You know what I mean? I think he saw through saw that Clark Kent is Superman. I feel like he kind of saw through that, if I'm being honest. I feel like he did, especially when, like, his one dude, when he left the Kent farm, and that one of his guys gave, like, Lex the glasses. Are those Clark's glasses? I'm not quite sure, but he kind of knows what Bruno was up to in that, but in kind of at the bottom of his penthouse, in that kind of like trolley, kind of abandoned trolley station underneath the penthouse. It's kind of like, Bruno's lair. His, like, home base, kind of knew his workings and what he was doing, his workings on what he was doing, and meaning that he had Bizarro. So that moment where bro went into that kind of, destroyed, abandoned, base of, Bruno's base, like, where he did all of his experiments. Seeing Bizarro Superman eat rats, I could not describe to you how gross that was and how, like, scary that was. That was disgusting. That might have been the grossest thing I've ever probably one. I would say probably one of the if I would say it's the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, seeing someone physically eat rat. I couldn't even. I was like, that's freaking foul. It's probably up there with, if you guys have seen that, you guys will have had those. So, spoilers real quick for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It kind of, because when with the whole rat eating fits into what I'm about to say, that involves spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, it's not even really a spoiler, but, like, leave and then come back here. But I'm assuming you guys probably have. There's a scene in the beginning where Nebula, it was Nebula, it was Mantis, it was Rocket, it was Groot, it was Drax, it was who else was there? Cosmo, and it was also Kraglin. They all ate those rats that Peter Quill kicked, those space rats that Peter Quill kicked in Guardians 1. They were eating those, and I wanted to throw up in the theater. So, mind you, I had flashbacks to that. I was like, that's so freaking foul to me. And you saw Bizarro Superman just chowing, ripping. I couldn't even. I can't even. Just me talking about it, I want to throw up. So that was gross. I'm scared to see what kind of, like, plans he has for wanting to use Bizarro Superman. I'm assuming he's going to try to somehow control him to fight Superman, or maybe to kill Lois if Lois doesn't, listen to listen to him about not about retiring as a reporter and never reporting again. I think he is getting that. I think he knows that Lois won't do it, and I think he's getting ready to retaliate if Lois doesn't listen. Um, but like I said, though, the lamest parts was Sarah and also Sam, Lois, and Clark all getting on Jordan's shit about so-called Jordan in this stage of 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 bragging, and you know what I mean, and also and bragging about saving people, and thinking that saving people, I deserve credit, and that's not what he's that's nothing what I am seeing. So the fact that these writers are trying to make it sound like that's what Jordan is doing baffles me, because I don't see it. I don't see it. And if bro wants to kind of feel himself a little bit, you know what I mean, be like, yeah man, I did that, who cares? It's not like Clark has didn't do that shit in Smallville, the show. Like, what do you mean, man? He's done it multiple times. Like you, come on, man. I mean, I can't lie. If I was saving people, I'd probably gas myself up a little bit. I mean, it's not about taking credit for saving people, but it's about, you know what I mean. If someone, if there's rumors out there that there's somebody that is you saving people, of course you're gonna be like, oh, that dude sounds pretty cool. Of course you're gonna do that. What do you mean, man? Like, come on now. Like, shit. If I had superpowers, that'd be so fun. But I would still, if people knew about, not knowing that was me, but knowing that, I know that it's me, that they know is somebody saving people around Pittsburgh, I'd be like, yo, yeah, that dude sounds pretty cool. I like his costume. You know what I mean? Of course I do that shit. So I don't know. Like, if she's taken that, Sarah, as, oh, he's bragging about saving people and he's pretty much telling people a secret just so she can have the excuse to go tell people and put him in danger, when he, which that was a secret that no person should just be blurting, because it could put everybody in danger. It could put her in danger. It could put him in danger. It could, the funny thing is that if she does tell people, and Jordan does get hurt or somebody gets hurt, she'll make it sound like it's not her fault. And I that's such the character. I feel like that's exactly how she would act. So I don't know. That shit just really annoyed me. What Sarah was doing in this episode, on top of like on top of like Lois, Clark, and Sam all on Jordan's shit, especially Lana. That shit annoyed me too. I was like, how? I was like, how is this Jordan's fault? He did nothing wrong. And this the stupidest thing was that, Clark outright knew that Jordan could help him stop that tornado, but he just kept telling Jordan, "I don't need your help. Go home." You needed his help, bro. You were struggling. You were struggling. I hate to say it, but bro was struggling. He needed help. That was 3 times the size of a normal tornado. That shit was huge. And he said, "Go home, Jordan. I don't need your help." Bullshit. Like, I'm gonna go home. Like, you would have went home if somebody else was in your place and told you to go home, and like, you listen. Bullshit. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. It was a damn good episode. I loved Lex. I'm super excited to see more of Lex next season, because I think that character is confirmed. Especially this dude that plays Lex Luthor. I can't remember his name, but let me know down in the comments below. All I know is that he is from Walking Dead. But like I said, though, I'm super excited to see what he's gonna do going into next season. Also, I heard tonight's finale was crazy, so I cannot wait. I'm gonna try to get out my episode 13 spoiler review out tomorrow before I go to Big Time Rush, because Big Time Rush, they're coming to Pittsburgh tomorrow. If not, they're probably here in a hotel now. But I'm going to their concert tomorrow, so I'm leaving around 4 o'clock. So hopefully, I'm gonna try to get out my episode 13 spoiler review before I go to the concert. I might take some videos. If I do, I'll probably put them up on my Instagram. If not, I'll probably maybe do a short little vlog, maybe like shoots, like video some of the songs I like that are my favorite by Big Time Rush, and I'll probably like splice it together, and maybe I'll put it up on the channel. I'm not quite sure. I'm going with my sister Annie. Of course, if you guys have seen Annie, my sister, before here on the channel, she's been in multiple videos. If you're new here, Annie is my sister. If you guys browse around my channel, if you are new here, you will see her in a lot of my videos. She's been in my Stargirl reviews. She's been in my Outer Banks reviews. She's been in my, I can't even think, she's been in my Riverdale reviews, Legacy reviews. She's been in a lot of my reviews. So definitely, guys, go follow my sister Annie over on her Instagram. I think it's, if I'm correct, it's at, let me check. I think it's Angelica, if I'm correct. I'm giving her a shout out, because she's great and she's always coming. She's always came in the clutch when it came to being on the channel, and I would love to give her a shout out. I'm just trying to see if I can. I'm just gonna go to messages. What am I doing? I just go like to messages because, of course, here. Where is it? Yeah, it's just Angelica Hensel. Go follow her. Um, but yeah, guys, like I said, we're gonna get into. I actually have the episode 13 promo for tonight's finale, which I will be watching tomorrow. So of course, I have to check it out, the promo, to see an idea of what people are talking about when they said like tonight's episode was like insane. I saw that from a lot of people's thumbnails. It looks insane, so I'm super excited. Like I said, to watch the finale tomorrow. I'm super pumped. We actually, like I said, like with my new setup now, with my big TV there, me and Annie were actually watching not tonight's episode, last week's episode in my room. So tomorrow, when she wakes up, we're gonna watch tonight's episode 13 finale on the CW app. We'll watch it in my room, and then if she wants to, I will. She's more than welcome to be in the review, which you guys will see tomorrow if she's gonna be in it or not. I'll ask her if she wants to be in it. If she doesn't, it is what it is. But she might want to. But without further ado, guys, we're gonna get into the episode 13 promo, which I just want to make sure that's in. Okay, cool. Let's get into it right about now.
Time to go kill the Man of Steel.
The season finale.
Anything about dying, Superman? Because you're about to.
Okay, because you're about to? Bullshit. Bizarro's not strong enough either. Bizarro's Superman to take Superman. Like, bro, I don't. Then again, I can't act like we didn't see. I just realized this now. Sorry about that, guys. I just realized I do not have the thumbnail. I meant the poster for Superman and Lois up. I feel really bad. Let me fix that real quick. I cannot believe that. That's so not like me. Here, let me fix that real quick. Let me grab it, bring it to my main desktop, pull this back up, and then let me do that real quick. That's so weird. That's not like me to do that. I was just so excited to talk about this episode that I just was not paying attention. But we got it up now. That's all that matters. But like I said, guys, I'm super excited to watch the season finale of Superman and Lois season 3 tomorrow. And also, I'm super excited to be back here, whenever for season 4. We did get confirmed for season 4. Sadly, like I said, there's a lot of recurring characters that aren't coming back, like Chrissy, Lana, Nat, John Henry, Sam, Kyle, Sarah, Sophie. There's a whole bunch of characters that aren't returning. Just the core 4 will be back, like Jordan, Jonathan, Lois, Clark, and then of course Lex Luthor is confirmed for next season as the main villain. So I'm just super excited with 10 episodes, which, and I can't lie, it does sound dumb that they're just gonna outright not bring everybody back. So it's gonna be very awkward to not see everybody else and them give an explanation on where everybody else is, unless tonight's finale kind of like clarified on where everybody else would be, but I don't think tonight's finale would do that, so it's a little confusing. I know a lot of people had different like scheduling things that people had to do. That's why a lot of people aren't coming back, along with other people that weren't, I think, asked to come back, if I'm correct. So maybe they just want to make it a very intimate like last season with just the core 4 Kent family and going against Lex Luthor. Maybe they just want to focus on that for the last season instead of jumping around to like side characters. But I feel like the side characters really like make the plot of the show really good. It's gonna be very weird from when we went to a bunch of side characters being here to now no side characters in the last season of Superman and Lois. It's really weird to not have Sam be a part of the show, Lois's father. That's very weird. So we're gonna see how that turns out. Like I said, for next season. If I'm being honest, I'm really curious to know if you guys want me to actually I'm debating if I want to do like Patreon reactions for the last season of Superman and Lois. I feel like I kind of would prefer doing that over doing reviews per se. I and also, like I said, guys, it's not like in any way I'm like taking anything away. If anything, it actually would be better that would actually be doing reactions for the last season of Superman and Lois. I think it'd be really fun. Of course, I'd be putting it up on Patreon because I can't put it on YouTube due to copyright, and I don't want any strikes to take down the channel or any strikes that would really hurt the channel. And like I said, guys, if you haven't heard about my Patreon before, it's only $5 a month, and you get access to my movie reactions and my TV series reactions. It's definitely worth it, and there's so much more going to be coming. Right now, I'm doing Secret Invasion. Literally as we speak tonight, is going to be episode 2 of Secret Invasion, and I actually am going live at 2 a.m. And then when the episode drops at 3, I'm actually going to be recording episode 2 for Patreon while I am live streaming with everybody else. So if you haven't checked out my watch parties for, like, my late night watch parties for like Bad Batch, Mandalorian, some other shows I can't even think of on the top of my head, and then now, Secret Invasion and more shows to come. There are going to be like late night shows that drop late, and also Last of Us. And I didn't do Last of Us watch parties, but Last of Us is one of the series I did, series reactions to over on the Patreon. But it's fun over there because, for everybody, in my live streams, how I do it is that I when the episode drops, I do a 3, 2, 1 countdown. They watch it on their end, I watch it on my end, and we do. And the reason I do the 3, 2, 1 countdown is that so we can link up, and start the episode at the same time. So as we're watching it together, it's like, our reactions kind of sync up, and we're kind of like watching it together. But if you guys want that, like that, extra special kind of, actually feel like you're watching it with me, that's where Patreon comes in. Whereas actually I share my screen, I have a really cool layout, kind of like what I have here, and you get the sound, you get the video, and you're literally watching it with me. And it's only at the price of $5 a month. It's definitely a good deal. I definitely recommend checking it out, and checking out all the other content I have on there. I have like I think 80 something worth of videos up on Patreon right now, and we're only going to get more videos up on Patreon. So definitely go check it out. It's always in the description down below. It's in my link tree along with my other socials. Again, here, if you're new to the channel, or if you've been here a part of the channel before, I'm really trying to get more Patreon subscribers. That is the goal, to at least get 100 Patreon subscribers before the end of this year, along with hitting 800 subscribers. That is the goal I'm at right now. Initially, I want to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. So if you guys can help me get to 800 as of right now, if you've watched my videos before, I would love if you could subscribe. If you haven't subscribed before, it really would help me out. And also, if you're interested in any of my Patreon stuff, definitely, like I said, go check it out. It's in the description down below. Or not description. It's in the description down below. So definitely go check it out. But guys, yet again, that was the video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the season 3, episode 13 finale of Superman and Lois. Peace.